Hi guys! I recently finished a commission for my girlfriend's mom, Lillian, of her dog Rex, and I captured footage on my second day of painting. So I sat for 2 sessions to finish this commission. And the first half of it, sometimes I find myself in this space of just wanting to be in my painting space. And if I record while I'm painting, sometimes my energy is split. So the first half of this painting, I didn't record. But the second half, when I was actually doing Rex's face, I set the camera in the corner and tried to pretend like it wasn't there and just did my painting. But since I captured that footage, I wanted to share it. And in deciding how I wanted to share the footage, I wanted to share the story of the commission. So, as you can see, I've probably started already. I want to do this as a split screen. So, the video of me painting Rex should be going on either side of me. And, in wanting to create the story, I went to one of my new friends, Bard, which is Google's AI experiment, and I just put in the question looking for an outline for a story about taking on an art commission after having spent a few years not doing commissions. And AI can be scary. It came up with a fabulous outline. So I thought at first I would just sit and answer all the questions, like at a word processor. Sit and answer the questions, type it out, and see what came of it. And then part of me thought, just throw on the camera and let's just go over these questions that the AI, Bard, put in this outline. And as I answer them, I'll share them while the split screen is going on. And for however long it takes for me to answer these questions, I'll speed up or slow down the actual footage of me painting. Okay, so let's look at some of the outline questions from Bard. So the first thing in the introduction, describe your friendship with the dog's owner and your history of working with her German Shepherd in the past. Well, I have to say, in my career of being an artist, which really developed as a young child, my biggest fan would have to be hands down my sister Debbie. Family, always been a big cheerleader and supporter of me and my talent. Coming in second, though, would have to be my girlfriend Lisa and her mother Lillian, always big supporters of my talent and my skill. And in the 90s, I did a lot of commission work. And I would have to say Lillian was one of my biggest supporters asking for commission, mostly based on her dogs. She's a wonderful dog lover and big dogs. And so over the years, she would commission me to do work based on her dogs. So I'll probably throw up some footage. I've done her collie. I did one of her other German Shepherds. So that was back in the 90s. And I know one of the questions that comes up in the outline is what made me stop doing commissions, because for a long time I haven't done commissions. Since I really don't remember anything specific, I would have to say life got in the way. Having to get a real job and all, and putting my art talents off to the side. But my friendship with Lisa and Lillian never stopped, and I find myself in a position now where I have time on my hands and I've been working with my skills, and I can certainly see a progression in my talent just based on the work. And so in my recent visit with Lisa and Lillian, I accepted her request for a commission of her current dog, Rexy. Oh, hi, Rexy. I think the other reason I stopped taking commissions was because I realized I didn't enjoy it so much. Now, let me really explain, because I don't want Lisa or Lillian to think that I didn't enjoy what I did. I very much enjoyed doing this commission. But in the grand scheme of things, as a personal preference, as an artist, I realized that taking on a commission like that is a lot of, I don't know if replication is the right word, because what I paint certainly exudes my energy and my style in the painting. But I realized that painting in that replication type of process to where it almost looks like a photograph. Now, I've seen artists who can paint where when you look at the oil painting, you don't know if it's a photograph or a painting. And I think that is amazing. That is certainly a talent and a skill. And I have no doubt that if with practice and if I really put my heart into it, I could get to that point. However, my personal preference is more to use art as a way of seeing things that I may not have paid attention to. Like if I shared here the kind of urban sketching that I did of a picture that my sister took while she was in Germany, in sitting to do that sketch, I was able to see the architecture in a way that I would not have paid attention to just by flipping through the photograph. But in the same respect, I didn't need to try and replicate what I was looking at. So my preference as an artist is to experience life. Like, I think that's my priority, is to experience what life has got to offer and then document it in a way that I love creatively, either just to remember the moment or to maybe slow myself down to take in that moment. That's what being an artist for me really means, really tugs at my heart. So it's really a long answer to say why I stopped taking on commissions, because I had some people that were a little judgmental about what I commissioned for them. They weren't happy because then I guess in the long run they didn't like my style and the way that the commission came out for them. And yeah, so I didn't want to be painting for someone else. I wanted to paint for me. Now, again, Lillian and Lisa are such cheerleaders for my work that it's a pleasure to do a commission for them, because they help me feel like a rock star when it comes to my talents. So thank you. And yeah, I can hear them saying it's well deserved. Thank you. So let's move on to the next question. Take the reader through your process for creating the artwork step by step. Oh my goodness. Share your thoughts and feelings about the process, as well as any challenges or unexpected discoveries you encounter. Wow, I think that's a, a big ask, step by step. Well, first of all, the photo that was supplied to me through a text, it wasn't the clearest of photographs, but I've been around Rexy, so that helps a little bit, although my technique does involve really needing something to look at. So what did I do? The photo was of Rex on his well, their bed, and I didn't want to recreate the bedroom scene. So there were two things going on there. One was I wanted to come up with a background scene that would be appropriate as part of the commission. It's not that Lillian asked for anything specific in that respect, so I did take artistic license. So I did kind of a Google Images search for some park scenes to get a feel. Like I said, I need to be looking at something, a photo reference. That's why urban sketching works for me. If I'm on the scene looking at something, or most times I take a photo of a place and work off the photo. So I found a park setting just to help me with the depth perception for where the dog would be sitting and the area behind him, and then kind of took artistic license off of that photo reference of the park. And I remember I took a photocopy of the printout. So she sent me a text with the picture. I printed out the picture, or actually, I don't even think I printed it out. I think because it was digital, I was able to kind of print it out black and white, roughly around the size that I wanted it for some reference, and also to look at the gray tones and the shadows. So I started with that. And in the first sitting that I didn't record, it was kind of doing a wash of everything, laying out where I wanted the trees in the background, where Rex would be situated within this park scene, and then establishing the tree. So it was kind of a rough layout, and then I couldn't help myself. I started getting into the details of Rex, but his lower quarters. I knew I didn't have the energy in that first sitting to really work on the face, right? The face, whether it's a human or an animal, it's where all the personality is, the eyes look into the soul of the person or pet. And I didn't have the energy in that first sitting. So I really did like the background and started working on the hindquarters. And I basically just took a photo of where I was at that particular moment. When I finished on that first day, boom. I did half of a dog and a wash in the background of the park. Some time went by before I was able to get back to the front half and his face. And I knew I'd have to sit with the energy to do the face. The face is very detailed. It's also on a small scale. And the mantra when working on the face is to make sure to draw what you see, not what you think you see, which was kind of the mantra. I'm looking as an artist mostly at the photo reference more than I am the canvas. Like if the camera was on me instead of on the canvas, you'd probably see my head. Looking at the photo reference more than the canvas. That's the discipline in getting the face right for me. I've seen other artists who just really have an eye for it and a talent where they just kind of go in there and do it. Not me. I need a photo reference. Which is probably why I decided to set the camera on to watch, because, I think I look at it after the fact in amazement and go, wow, that's fun to watch, when I can sit back and it's not my brain doing the work and I can just enjoy watching myself paint. That's kind of cool. Once I was able to establish the eyes were in the right place and the image was very flat to me. And I went in at the end and made sure, very fine detail, to make sure to put strokes in for fur. Once the fur is put on there, it gives the painting more dimension. Without that dimension, the painting just didn't look right. And even after I called it done, I said, okay, it's finished, I kind of let it sit here on the table behind me in my studio, so no matter what other project I was doing, it was kind of, I would see it. I would see it and be like, something's not sitting right with me. And every once in a while I'd go back and tweak something. And the final tweak that I did had to do with the eyes. The one eye was just too bright, and you wouldn't believe it was just a little bit of shadow. That's all it needed, was I put a little bit of shadow on that white spot, right? Like this light that I have hanging wants to do that white spot. In the painting, it was too bright. And as soon as I just shaded it just a little bit, it was finally complete. Okay, sorry about that. I had to get a cough drop. Got this weird tickle going on. Alright, so the next question. Describe the finished artwork and your satisfaction with it. I think an interesting behind-the-scenes fact about my process is how much I let go. What do I mean by that? I truly believe that there is a power bigger than myself that does the creating. Almost like I'm just a channel for the talent to come through me. I let go. As part of the process, I kind of let go. I mean, I've had some training, so I've learned some techniques, but it really comes from a different feeling place. I'm not trying to create a piece of artwork. I don't know how to put it into words, because what happens is, after my projects are complete, I find myself staring at them, kind of in awe that I created them. Not to come from a place of bragging or being arrogant, but like, where did that come from? Like, wow. So when, the portrait of Rex is finished, I enjoy taking the time to admire it. I'm very pleased the way it came out, and I'm also pleased with when I look back at the painting of the collie that I did for her, to see the difference from back in the 90s, I think that was 96, to today. I can see the difference in my skill set and the process and how it all comes out. For back in the 90s, I feel as though it was a little bit more rigid. Almost, I don't know why the image of a straitjacket comes in, but it just seems more confined. Where, as part of my art process now, flows more. There's a lot more freedom in the artwork that I do now. The client's reaction. That is one of the most fabulous things about Lisa and Lillian, is that they really appreciate the talent. Lillian did start to get very emotional about it, and the fun part for me when she had commissioned me to do it, there was no timeline. And I never know, right, with what's going on here and doctor's appointments. I don't know how long it'll take me to get one done. But I knew we had a date to see each other again. Lisa, her husband, and I actually had tickets to go see Michael McIntyre at the Beacon Theater. And so I set that as my goal date to get the painting done. And it was okay, because if it didn't get done, it was alright. But that was my own personal deadline. And I didn't mention anything to Lillian or Lisa about it. So when I showed up at their house, and I mean, I had it wrapped when I had it to present to them, they knew what it had to be. And they were both very surprised that it was complete and done. And it was just a really special experience to almost see Lillian bracing herself as we were unwrapping the painting. That does kind of put people in a certain spot, doesn't it? You know, God forbid they don't like it. What do they do, right? But that's not a problem with them. They love it. Oh. So it really was a precious moment, and she was so excited to get it hung on her wall. And I actually had the pleasure of helping her with that process too. And she was able to just kind of sit back and watch me work while I placed it up on the wall. Typically, she loves going all out to frame it. And there was something about this piece and being next to another piece of a photograph on a canvas that someone in the family had given her of Rex. The two pieces next to each other, we went frameless. And it was a special moment to be with them, and Rex was there licking my face and helping me as I was hanging the piece. So, you know, that stuff is priceless. Just to be, in that experience of life, to be with friends and to get that done, and to know it's someplace where she's going to see it all the time. The next question here: what inspires you to create art? What an interesting question. You know, my teachers in grammar school really recognized that I had talent and a skill. You know, where classmates were drawing stick figures and I was actually drawing human bodies. You know, so I guess in a sense it was nurtured, but I don't know, in this day and age, it's how I know to express myself. That is really a tough question. What? Why do I do it? Why do I do what I do? I think I kind of answered that before, though, because it's a way for me to experience the world around me, to really stop and take the time to appreciate something and to express how I see that thing or that place or that experience. It gives me an outlet to express. This is me, this is who I am, and this is how I'm experiencing the world. And there's a passion that I think is unstoppable, and that I think is the impetus for me wanting to share on YouTube, because there was a time where I felt I couldn't express that part of me. Too many judgmental voices on the outside that we close ourselves in because suddenly it's not okay to express yourself because it doesn't meet the expectations of somebody else. And I want to, since I feel in a position now that, hey, it's okay for all of us to be us, assuming we're not hurting anybody physically. You can't help somebody's emotions, somebody's feelings are going to get hurt. But if you're not physically hurting someone by doing this passion that you love, that's a form of your self expression. My impetus to have the YouTube channel is to help other people see, hey, if she can do it, so can I. If there was a time in your life when you put pen to paper or charcoal or pastels or paint to canvas, but now you don't do it because life got in the way or maybe somebody said something harsh, find yourself again. Rediscover that part of you that wants to come out. I have a quote right here I can see from the author Anne Rice, who has passed away within the past year or so. It's surrender to your obsessive passions. And that's why I create. That's not only why I create art, but it's also why I create videos. Oh, I think what I was just saying kind of answers these next questions. What are your goals for your artwork? What challenges do you face as an artist? And how has your artistic process evolved over time? Whew, these are good questions. So the goals of my artwork is to create a space allowing me to express myself, to share who I am with the world. And I also hope that my artwork inspires others towards their creative passions. The challenges I face as an artist, time. Time in this time-space reality in this human body, we only get so many hours in a day. And my imagination is like limitless, and I could come up with ideas and projects and all these fabulous things that I want to do. And I gotta rein myself in and get a little bit grounded and really kind of pick and choose. So that's why I really only want to focus once I learn that art journaling and these urban sketches and, going out into the world and experiencing the world and kind of expressing that in some way. Once I knew that that's what I wanted to do, it was very easy to kind of clean out a lot of my art and craft supplies because I really became clear of what I wanted to do and didn't want to waste time doing. And there were a lot of projects, unfinished projects, that I gave away because I knew we don't have a lot of time in this world. Our time is precious. Oh, every second, man, you want to suck the joy in, and I really have learned that in life. So, let go. I learned to let go of a lot of things so that I would create as much time as I could for the things that I love. How has your artistic process evolved over time? I think I mentioned this before. It's more flowy. It really is. There's a lot more. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for expression. I'm not caught up in the judgments of others, and I have found that what I might pick on as an error or something that doesn't look right to me, an observer may not even see it. That the people looking in from the outside at my talent, I've come to realize not everybody is artistic like me. I had a hard time understanding that people are really, I don't know if amazed is the right word, but there are a lot of people out there that are amazed by my talent. And I need to let go of this fear that I'm not artistic enough. So there's a lot more freedom and flow in how I approach my artwork. Alright, so I have a picture. I took a picture of the oil painting I did of her collie while I was there visiting. So I want to show that. But I have a copy downstairs in my portfolio of a sketch I did of her German Shepherd Saber from times back. Come on, let's go look at it. All right, so this is a little walk down memory lane for me. So there's Saber, right? So that's probably a photocopy of the picture. And there's the pencil sketch that I did. And if we look down, well, it's my maiden name, 1997. If I flip back the page here, it was this time that I was taking commissions. So this is a stranger. I don't know who I did this for. That was the photo, and that was the sketch I did. Okay, guys. Well, that was a different video, right? Getting to hear inside the mind of an artist. Be your authentic self, right? Alright, well, as usual, thanks for watching. Laugh at life's colorful blessings, one creative idea at a time. Alright, until I see you at the next project. Bye!